Then I felt his hand slide down my pants and aggressively move every which way. I don't know if he thought that was supposed to feel good, and I had to hold back giggling again. I still really wanted to get laid and was willing to stick it out. We both removed our pants and underwear. He put on a condom, and next thing I knew, he was on top of me. At first, I was really enjoying it, but as he got more and more into it, he got more and more erratic with his movement.
I'm just imagining some guy doing the worm. Like,
Welcome back to Delve Deck Stories. Today we have some chaotic dating stories. Our first story is from Teresa, and it's what's the worst date you've ever been on from the venting deck. My date's toupee fell off mid-hookup. 2 years ago, I divorced my shitty ex-husband. He always made me feel terrible about myself and basically treated me like a maid. We hadn't slept together at all in the last 3 years of our marriage, and I finally ended it when I found out he wasn't trying to touch me because he was getting his needs met elsewhere.
Whore.
Anyway, after that long dry spell and disappointing marriage, I was ready to get out there and let my freak flag fly. I hadn't been one for hookups when I was younger, but now that I was in my mid-40s, I was like, who cares? I don't want to date. I just want to get laid. I joined a bunch of dating apps and started matching with men. The first guy I started talking to was this guy Charles, who was a bit older than me and also recently divorced. He was also gorgeous and had a beautiful head of silver hair, kind of like Ted Danson, who I've always been into. We decided to meet up for dinner, but my main goal was to get him to take me home with him. When we met up, my first thought was, this guy is way older than he looked in his pictures. But I decided that was fine. I was no spring chicken myself. We got to talking about our interests, and he starts going on about how he loves fishing and hunting. Now, I eat meat, so I'm not really one to talk, but the way he was describing killing animals was kind of a turnoff. He asked if I liked hunting, and I was like, oh no, that's not really my thing. He told me I would love it and that he would take me sometime. He continued going on and on about hunting, never asking me a single question about myself. Then the food arrived. Charles chewed with his mouth wide open, used his shirt instead of his napkin, and burped loudly a few times. I thought all of this was odd behavior for a first date, but I think my desperate need for physical touch really blinded me to how many red flags he had.
No, you can't be that. Take the server home, take the host, take the bartender.
So many other people.
So many other options.
Yeah.
How could you even be turned on after seeing all that?
You'd be surprised. No, I'm just kidding.
We're learning a lot about Gabe today.
Gabe is actually the man.
Yeah.
In this.
Look, don't judge, all right? Like,
take your hair off, Gabe.
All right. It's just a full Mission Impossible mask.
Oh my God, it's Jason Bourne.
You've been hanging out with an old guy this whole time.
Once dinner was over and I had learned everything about his weird relationship with his mom, how much he hated his dad, how crazy his ex-wife was, and he had learned absolutely nothing about me, he asked if I wanted to come back to his place. I said sure. I know that sounds stupid, but it had been so long. There's so many fish.
We're going to find the mother is actually a skeleton with a wig and a dress in the basement.
Oh,
he's
no.
actually Norman Bates, and he's going to be like, hold on, I want you to meet my mother.
No.
I'm just judging a little too hard because why would you... After everything you've seen,
of this.
And the dick is not going to be that good. It's not going to be good enough to justify.
What if it is? Like, he's like the super big slob. He's not considerate, but then you're like, well, the dick's pretty good.
But he gets away with it because
he can lay it down.
Unlikely.
Very unlikely.
He's obviously not interested in her at all, which means he's not going to be interested in her in bed either.
He's not going to be interested in making sure she has a good time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, these are good points. But we'll see if he lays the pipe, you know?
I let him take me back to his apartment, and when we arrived, I was like, oh, wow, this is a true bachelor pad. He had basically no furniture, just a futon and a bunch of cardboard boxes that seemed to be functioning as chairs and tables.
I mean, he's just a guy who doesn't like waste, you know?
He's just a guy.
He's like, I like to recycle, reuse, reduce.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Before I had time to process everything that was going on in this place, his mouth was on mine, wide open, and his tongue was down my throat. I was thinking, it's been a while since I've had a first kiss this bad, and started giggling to myself. He pulled away and asked, what's so funny? I hadn't realized I had been that obvious.
Just audibly. While the tongue just like circling around.
Yeah. Nothing, sorry, just thinking about something else. Well, stop thinking and start kissing, he said in a tone.
Oh.
So demanding and weird. It's so weird. He said in a tone that he may have thought was sexy, but definitely wasn't. He pushed me onto his bed and continued to tongue my throat. Then
That verbiage. Oh, God.
Then I felt his hand slide down my pants and aggressively move every which way. I don't know if he thought that was supposed to feel good, and I had to hold back giggling again. I
just imagine.
He said, I'm doing a sign language alphabet.
I just imagine the scene from Zoom.
It's a Rubik's Cube down there.
It's one of those mouses. They're like weird, you know. No, it makes me think of Zoolander when they do the walk off and they're like in the pants, you know.
Yeah.
And they pull out the underwear.
I haven't seen Zoolander in forever.
I mean,
but
people in the
believe
comments
you.
back me up. You know what I'm
Back me
talking
up,
about,
guys. I still really wanted to get laid. Why? And was willing to stick it out. We both removed our pants and underwear. He put on a condom, and next thing I knew, he was on top of me. At first, I was really enjoying it, but as he got more and more into it, he got more and more erratic with his movement.
I'm just imagining some guy doing the worm. Like, yeah, baby. That's bad.
He's like, I'm in, and you're like, this is my thighs.
Yeah. Are you though? He was bouncing on top of me. Barely staying in, and definitely not concerned about how it felt for me. Then he started pounding on his chest and roaring.
Yes, gotta let the alpha male out because this is where the real sex happens.
Oh, no.
He's like, big boy, coming at you.
Oh, no.
He said, call me Gizmo. I can only come if you call me Gizmo.
I was like, what on earth is going on? Why is he acting like this? I have no idea if this was supposed to turn me on or if he was just so excited he was having sex that he turned into Tarzan, but he was really committed to it. As he roared and bounced faster on top of me, it happened. His hair flew off and fell, no joke, on my chest.
No. Hairy chest.
I feel like if you've got
He said, wait, stay right there.
wig on,
He's like, let me sham wildest.
He said, wait, that's kind of hot, actually. Are you into this? Because I think I'm into this.
my eyes widened as I stared at this bald man roaring and pounding his chest on top of me. It took him a second to notice, and once he did, he looked horrified. He jumped off me and told me I had to leave immediately. I tried to tell him it was okay and that I didn't care. You just gotta
What
get
is
out
wrong
of there
with this
by
user?
now. You
She
have to get out.
Just wanted
She
to
just
D.
left a really toxic,
She was like,
you were in
yeah.
a bad relationship.
She was like, look,
before.
I'm just looking for just, a little fixing right now. And this guy was good enough.
But he just started screaming at me to leave. I was so freaked out by his behavior the entire night. I was just like, okay, fine, and grabbed my things.
Get out!
Mom!
I walked a few blocks away and then called an Uber to take me back to my car. Even though his personality wasn't the best, I felt bad for Charles.
Wasn't the bet.
I thought she was going to be like, even though his personality wasn't the best, the sex was okay.
She was like, I liked it.
The bar is so far in hell that this man didn't
This
seem
poor
that bad.
woman.
That is...
She's like, so I got an Uber back to
This
the bar.
says so much about her ex-husband.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have cared if he had been bald. All around a horrible dip back into the dating pool.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it got better.
I have low hopes. God. Yeah. I'm also like interested, not that I'd want to see it, but the mechanics of him being able to bounce on top while also like that's some stamina, Charles.
Yeah.
I'll give it to him.
Our next story is from Zoe, and it's what's the worst date you've ever been on from the venting deck. My date took me to a surprise swinger party.
What a way to go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really just
A fun thing to surprise someone with.
He
dive
said,
into the deep end.
if it
Sink or
doesn't work
swim.
with us, I'm still getting laid.
Yeah. I started swapping messages on a dating app with a man last summer who I thought was cute. In the past, I've made the mistake of trading messages for too long and it never went anywhere, so I made a rule for myself that I'd meet people within a week of messaging or move on. I explained my new rule to Walt, the guy I was talking to, and he was like, I get it, but I am pretty busy this week. My friends are having a house party on Saturday. Want to come with? All right.
House party, huh?
I think you have to tell people what the party
Unless he didn't know
is.
what kind of party it was.
Maybe he didn't know either.
It's like, how do I
Giving
break in
him-
the house? We.
Great way to break in the house, you know?
And break the ice.
I wasn't sure about going to a party with all strangers, so I countered, asking if we could get a beer at a bar first, and if that went well, then we could go over to the party. Walt agreed. I get to this pub, and in walks Walt, miraculously looking like his profile pics, which isn't always the case with the apps. We chat over the beers, and it all seems mostly fine. We start off talking about the usual stuff, like how our week went, what we do for work, how hard dating on the apps is, etc. He said a few things I should have clocked as strange, but I think I was probably just trying to be optimistic because he was cute. He talked about how he really values open-mindedness and an easy-going liberal attitude. He complained about how our culture is so repressed and judgmental. I should have inferred what he was getting at, but he didn't come right out and say he's an orgy guy, and so are his friends. Instead, I stupidly nodded along and was like, yeah, totally.
Orgies.
I get that this could mean other things. You're like,
I totally would not,
yeah.
my brain would not immediately go, he wants to me while his friends me.
We finish our beers and Uber to his friend's house. At first, things seem kind of normal, and we're mingling and chatting with people. I end up in conversation with this couple, and I feel like they are flirting with me, but I'm a couple of beers in at that point and don't normally drink a lot, so I was a bit buzzed. They ask me who I know at the party, and I tell them Walt invited me. The woman giggles and goes, oh, lucky you. Walt is one of my favorites. You two should come downstairs with us. I was like, okay, let me tell him.
What did she think that they were gonna go downstairs and do? Like,
Play chess, probably.
air hockey?
Have a little pool. Yeah. I am thinking downstairs they're smoking bud or some other normal thing. No idea what I'm about to walk into. I tell Walt his friends suggested we come hang with them in the basement. He gets really excited and he's like, you already want to go to the basement? Let's go.
Boner City.
So we follow Walt's friends down to the basement, and it's a full-on dungeon. People are really going at it, nudity everywhere. People are tied up. People are whipping each other. It's like something out of an adult film. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is this? I started to turn around, and I'm like, this isn't for me. I'm gonna go. Walt looks at me like I am the weird one and goes, what do you mean? Your dating profile said you are into team sports. I thought you were into this. Is that a key? Is that a hint? Is team sports a thing? Is it?
I don't know.
I was like, yeah, I play volleyball and soccer in rec leagues. I was being literal. You think team sports means this? He goes, yeah, in the kink community, it means this. Why do you have the heart emoji next to team sports? I thought it was code. I was like, okay, I guess there was a miscommunication. This is not for me. I hustled out of that house and called an Uber when I got outside. I updated my dating profile in the car before I even got home. Team sports? What the actual...
Yeah.
Now we all know.
Now we all know.
But also
Yeah.
communication. I don't think this is on her.
My immediate assumption would not be a house party is going to take me to a sex dungeon. That's not
No.
where my brain would ever go.
No, I mean,
So
yeah,
then he
I-
dropped the ball.
Yeah, I don't
and
think anyone
didn't
would think-
get his anyway.
One equals the other.
No.
Unless you're obviously into that community and that's
Unless
maybe
you
that's
met
a normal
on
thing.
field.
Yes.
Otherwise, what? There's no reason. Our next story is from Laura, and it's what's something you're still angry about from the original deck. I got catfished by a 12-year-old boy.
Got him.
He was like, that was me.
Ooh, pranks.
Back when I was in high school and MySpace was the place to be, I got a new request from this guy, Spencer Light. And he was hot. Spencer Light is an insane. I don't know why.
Spencer
that feels
Light.
so MySpace to me.
Yeah.
I don't
But
know.
Spencer Light, then he's like a Pokemon and he evolves into Spencer Medium and then Spencer Hard, you know?
Ooh, okay, sure. Piercing blue eyes, jet black hair, snake bite piercings. I was immediately infatuated with who this stranger was. At first, I was all like, I wonder why he added my profile. And then I was like, of course he added my profile. It's sex on a screen. My profile picture was me in my peak scene era. Flippy hair, black and pink raccoon extensions, heavy eyeliner. You're getting the picture. So you had to be on MySpace. It was required.
I mean, I just want to know. I'm
2000s were a fun time.
I'm just in it now to find out, did she make his top 8?
I guess we'll maybe hopefully find out.
I mean,
He's catfishing her, so
But
I don't know
still-
that this
but
story has a
still-
happy ending, Gabe.
at least like there's a moment of like, oh my god, I made the top 8, and then you're like, oh my god, I was catfished. Like I like a roller coaster here.
Gabe,
Okay?
you are going to love this next sentence.
Yes.
About a day after he added me on MySpace, I saw that I was now in his top 8.
That's what I'm talking about.
I thought this was the ballsiest move I'd ever seen and a great way to officially get my attention and express his interest. So I bit. I messaged him first. Saw your top 8. That's nice of you. Oh yeah, haha. I think you're really cool.
The Riz is strong.
You don't know me. Winky face with a P. The original emoji.
Yeah.
We love the
We love the emoticons.
we love the XD RAR LOL.
I still
era.
have the shrug one in my
Yeah.
shortcuts.
I
use that
I think that's
unironically.
a solid emoji.
It is.
I'm a big fan of the table flip.
Oh, the
Oh my
like,
god, I remember that with the
yeah,
dashes.
those
and
are fun.
Yeah.
Bring that shit back. Spencer and I started dating, or at least that's what it felt like, since we traded messages every day, late at night, and I told him everything that came to my mind. He told me he had been looking at my profile for a while and finally gained the courage to add me, hoping he could find a way to get my interest. I was at my best friend Katie's house one day, spilling all the sordid details of my relationship with Spencer. So have you kissed? We haven't met yet, I sheepishly admitted. Has he asked you out? No, but we're definitely together, I defended him. I knew Spencer was the man for me, even if he hadn't asked to take it to the meeting in person stage yet. So that night, with Katie's words fresh in my head, I finally asked Spencer if he was ever going to ask me out on a date. I really appreciate all the like internet speak language that's happening in here. Lots of like yous instead of you. I just want people to picture that because it's nice for me.
They
I think
never
it's funny.
grew up and they're stuck in this time period.
I think that it's really just painting a picture. It's really like
yeah.
painting the scene.
No, yeah, I mean,
of
it
this
really gets you
era.
there, and you're like, I know where I am right now.
Yeah,
it's
I am
2003.
in-
Who was big at that time musically? You can hear them playing in the background.
Yeah, we've got like
Avril Lavigne,
some
Eminem.
Avril,
Mhm.
some Blink 182 maybe.
Of course.
All the
If he is ever going to ask me out on a date. Oh, haha, sure, yeah. Want to go on a date? Yeah, when? He didn't respond until the next day, and I was slightly getting worried he was dating other girls on MySpace, and what we had wasn't special at all. Until he replied and asked to meet Saturday. We agreed to meet at 5 p.m. He picked a local pizza spot with some arcade games, and I thought that was perfect in case the nerves got the better of us and we needed something else to focus on. I spent that day teasing my hair, picking out the best neon fishnets, a t-shirt that hugged my curves perfectly. I was ready to meet Spencer Light, my future husband.
How old is she?
In high school.
We don't know. She's 14.
It says
16?
back when I was in high school.
Okay.
My guess is
Older,
high
17
school.
is the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah. I get to the pizza place and get a table, taking the lead in ordering a large pepperoni pizza. Spencer had told me it was his favorite, so I knew he'd be happy with it, and probably impressed with my initiative. After about 30 minutes and no sign of Spencer, I started to get nervous he wasn't coming. Suddenly, someone does sit across from me, but it isn't Spencer. I feel like this is ballsy of this catfishing kid to show
up as himself.
Yeah.
He's like, look. I may not look like the guy in the photo, but the words were on me, baby.
Yeah. In front of me is my best friend Katie's 12-year-old brother,
Woo!
Joshua. A 12-year-old that you know even. I guess
That's
that
so much worse.
I would also be horrified, like, I don't know what kind of messages they were sending, if they were sexy somewhat. Like, you can't get past that.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Josh. Hi, he said excitedly. Weird to see you here. Where's Katie? I guess, yeah, she's just like, why would she assume that this is Spencer Light? I had told her where and when my date with Spencer was today, but I didn't expect her to come spy with Josh. Not here. Oh, well, I'm here to meet someone, and they should be here soon, so you can't stay. What if he's already here? Well, I would know if he was. At this point, I took the first slice of pepperoni pizza and began digging in since Spencer was late. Laura, it's me. I'm Spencer. Big reveal, hot moment.
It's an event.
I mean,
As
it's
women,
also...
we had crushes on lifeguards,
Oh,
camp
yeah.
counselors, youth group leaders.
You really think they're going to fall for you?
You're like, this tankini will really seduce him.
I beg your pardon? I nearly choked on the pizza, and Josh rushed into an explanation. I've always thought you were super pretty, but knew you wouldn't talk to me. You're 12. So I made the fake account. But we got along so well that when you asked me to meet you, I thought I might stand a chance if we met in person. You're 12, I said again, shocked he had been catfishing me as Spencer Light, my future husband, for near 2 months now.
Whoa. 2 months.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm not dating a 12-year-old. That's so weird and super illegal. So there's no chance? No, I basically shouted. Josh looked sad, like he was about to cry, but I had been bamboozled by a 12-year-old, so if one of us were about to start crying, it should have been me. Josh, you really need to go. Can I at least have a piece of the pizza? No, I didn't shout. I feel like I would have been like, fine, take a slice and get out of here.
Yeah. Get on, go.
Come on, get.
Have a piece of pizza. And after he left, I vowed to never date anyone unless I'd met him in person first.
It's a good rule.
Yeah.
It's a great rule.
Yeah, especially 2 months. That's a long time.
She's going to like think back and be like, man,
God, no one's ever wanted me that bad.
the only real connection I ever had was with Josh.
Spencer Light.
Right. Well, yeah.
Our next story is from Jay, and it's What's Your Best No One Will Believe This But story from the Splash Beach Ball. I think my ex cursed me. Okay.
Crazy.
What did you do?
I met this really cute redheaded server at a restaurant. This woman actually isn't normally my type, but I saw her once and kept thinking about her. I ended up going back several times, claiming I loved the food, but eventually I asked for her number. She was one of those alternative type girls, and she told me that she practiced witchcraft. I asked her if she'd done a spell on me, and she just laughed and didn't answer.
Oh, that's an answer.
Uh-huh.
That's an answer.
At the time, I thought we were just having fun and didn't take it too seriously. For the 3 months we dated, we were together all the time. Then I had to travel to Wisconsin for a family event. She was not happy that she wasn't coming and gave me a braided lock of her hair to keep with me for safekeeping, she said.
That's like so thoughtful of her. That's like super sweet of her, you guys.
Yeah, I guess.
Tell her that it's sweet or she'll find you on
Yeah,
the
that's
internet.
It's so sweet, super sweet.
Super sweet.
Super sweet. I
Very
wish-
thoughtful, very thoughtful.
I wish people would do that for me.
And because I was into my little freak, I listened and kept the lock of hair in my pocket the whole time. You know what? If you're both into it.
My little freak.
While I was there, I ended up running into an ex of mine from high school, and we caught up over lunch one day. While I'm there, I started having these weird chest pains and eventually had to leave early.
I gotta go. My heart, it's broken.
He just dies on the spot. I had nightmares for the rest of my trip starring my girlfriend. In the dream, she was staring at me and saying, "I know what you did." It was freaky. I feel like you just had a guilty conscience.
What did you do?
I mean, he just talked to an ex. I don't think that's that big of a deal. I don't know.
Hey, that's how it starts. It's like, what did you do? And you're like, okay, we just talked. I'm gonna ask you again.
Well,
what
I
did you
think
do?
that
It's like, okay,
he
fine. She kissed me.
Is feeling
What did we do? Oh,
guilty. So he probably, maybe
just
had a little
saying,
thought or
it's-
two.
just saying. It happens all the time. You start asking more questions and you get more details, and you're like, now I know what you really did.
When I got home, I went to see her. I had been missing her terribly, and also the dreams made me feel incredibly weird. When I got to her apartment, she was chopping vegetables and not looking at me. Without looking up, she goes, "Is there something you have to tell me, Jay?" I told her I ran into an ex and we caught up over lunch, but I also told her it was just as friends, and I told the ex about her. She whirled around and said, "You betrayed my trust. You will regret these mistakes you have made forever." That's spooky.
Lay it down, sister.
I asked if this was her breaking up with me, but she stared at me angrily until I left. I kept thinking about her, and she appeared in my dreams for months. In the dream, she was always torturing me, and eventually I had to throw out the lock of hair. Why'd you keep it?
Yeah.
You got to get rid of that. IDK, man, witchcraft. That's the only explanation I have.
That's fair.
The nightmare stopped, but I still find myself thinking of her often. I haven't seen her since that day, but I sometimes think I see her for a second out of the corner of my eye or in a random grocery store aisle. Maybe all a coincidence, but it was one of the freakiest dating experiences I've ever had. I don't think she actually existed. I think you dated a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
I'd think that, but the lock of hair he kept in his pocket convinces me
Ghost
otherwise.
hair. Our next story is from Britt, and it's "What's a lesson you learned the hard way" from the original deck. I went on a date with a felon. When I was in my early 20s, I had a lot to learn about dating and made a lot of stupid mistakes. The first one being not stalking potential suitors on social media first.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I learned this lesson after a date with Joaquin. When I was 23 and matched with Joaquin on Tinder, he was 38, so already a pretty big red flag. But I always thought of myself as more mature, so I had given myself a pretty wide range to sort through. We agreed to meet up for sushi later that week. Dinner started out normal, but then the food arrived. Joaquin took a bite and said, "Oh my God, it's been so long since I've had this." I was like, "Do you not go out to eat very often?" He acted like I had caught him in a lie or something and was like, "Oh no, just not sushi very often. I go out to eat all the time." Then we started talking about our interests. His were mostly the gym and cars, which is fine and normal. I told him I liked movies, and he said he liked them too. So then I asked about what movies he had seen recently. He was like, "Oh, I haven't actually been able to get to the theater in a while." I asked why not, and he said he had just been too busy lately.
Too busy in lockup.
Yeah. Then the conversation turned to politics, which was really important to me. I had studied political science, and the 2012 election had just happened. We seemed to agree on a lot of the topics I was bringing up, gay marriage, abortion, etc., so I decided to ask who he voted for in the election. He hesitated and then was like, Obama. But the way he said it made me feel like he was lying. Are you sure? I said. Yeah, I voted for Obama, he replied. But I wasn't sure I believed him.
I voted for Obama. I voted for Obama.
There were a few other topics that made my spidey senses go off. We talked about music and concerts. It seemed like he hadn't been to one in years. I brought up a few current events, and he acted like he knew what I was talking about, but I could tell he was lying. I wasn't sure why he was lying and was starting to get uncomfortable with the whole situation. Well, once I got home from the date, I decided to see if I could find Joaquin online. He had no social media, so I paid for one of those background check sites.
Yeah.
To my surprise, I found a police report and articles from 10 years earlier about his court case. He had been charged with manslaughter after he killed someone in a drunk driving accident. Not only that, but he had just gotten out of prison 3 weeks earlier. I understand why he wouldn't be upfront about that, and maybe he had turned things around, but I wasn't interested in finding out. I let him know I didn't feel a connection and vowed to always do adequate research before meeting someone ever again.
Background checks for sure.
Yeah. Gotta stalk people.
Gotta stack them.
Yeah.
Our final story is from Josh, and it's what's the creepiest encounter you've had with a stranger from the original deck. I woke up to him flat ironing my hair.
This may be an original experience.
What do you mean by that?
Like nobody can say that this has happened to them.
Only happened.
Oh, well, there was that one time. No.
Okay. He's like, this is normal.
Gabe.
I met this guy on Tinder for drinks at a gay bar. I thought he was cute when he walked in and had made up my mind to hook up with him. We had a couple vodka sodas and talked about our interests and what we do for work. He is a hairstylist and tells me how much he loves his job. I thought this was cute and was flattered when he complimented my hair and told me he'd love to style my hair sometime. I was like, yeah, that could be fun. So we finish our second round and then go back to his place and hook up. We have a great time, and after we were chatting and he was playing with my hair and I nodded off. I woke up in the middle of the night to a tugging sensation on my head and realized my date was flat ironing my hair. I jerked away and was like, dude, what the f***? And he goes, sorry, didn't mean to wake you. I thought I could surprise you. Okay. I was like, you can't just start doing someone's hair without asking. And he goes, at the bar earlier, you said it would be fun. I was like, yeah, I thought I would be awake and we could discuss it. This is not what I meant. He accused me of being sensitive, and I was like, this, I'm out, and threw on my clothes and left. He seems to think I overreacted, but his behavior really creeped me out. There will not be a second date.
That'd creep me out too.
Yeah.
I love my hair being played with.
But also it's like
a hot cooling, a hot
at least
cool.
maybe stay to finish the hair.
It's like half
Yeah.
curly, half straight.
He goes, wait, finish my blowout.
Yeah.
That is it for Delve Deck Stories. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, you can like, subscribe, and check out some of our other videos. And if you have a story you would like to share with us, you can go to share.delvedeck.com and we might read it on an episode.